Hi friends, so today we discuss about some important question related to KVS exam. Which of the which class of learner are not included under exception category? Answer is normal. Next, which of the following is not a merit of using teaching aids, enhancing content knowledge of the teacher? It is not merit using teaching aids. Other option if you see, making the learning process easier, creating interest in child in the topic and imparting concrete knowledge relating to the topic, it is comes are not a merit of teaching aids, but enhancing content of teacher is a teaching aids. Which of the following achieved by the use of audio-visual aids? So answer is visual and auditory coordinate is established. Next, which of the following is not an element of activity-based learning? Very active teacher is not an element of active-based learning. If you see other option, meaningful learning, relatively permanent learning, and pleasant learning is the component of activity-based learning. Next, by which method a gifted child can be identified? So, you cannot do the interview, not doing the diagnostic test, and not doing the attitude test, but you can identify intelligent gifted method by using intelligence testing. Next, according to Piaget, cognitive development takes place in which group of learner at the concrete operational stage? So answer is primary stage. Primary. See the explanation. The concrete operational stage is the third stage of Piaget theory of cognitive development. This period lasts around 7 to 11 years of age and is categorized by the development of organized and rational thinking. Here you can see that concrete operational stage at this stage it is 7 to 11 and characteristic is organized and rational thinking. So it is primary is the answer. So and at the primary school, if you see in primary school, basically 7 to 11, like 3 to 5 students are there. 3 to 5 class student. Next, what is the meaning of learner social development? Meaning of learner social development is social behavior related to social behavior. Next, at the beginning of the teaching lesson, some questions are asked. This is based which law of learning? Readiness learning. So at the beginning of the teaching lesson, some questions are asked this based on law of readiness. And next question, at what stage of development the child tries to draw attention other toward his own work? That is in early childhood stage, child try to draw the attention. Preferably, a curriculum needs to be developed for a large number of institutions. Curriculum developed on the large number of institutions. Next, which of the following statements supported by that curriculum leads to unfair difference between education for boys and girls? If you see see the option, most teachers are female. And if you see in a organization, in a teaching organization, basically most teachers are female. Difference in uniform of boys and girls. This is also the part of curriculum leads to unfair differences and different activities of for boys and girls. Next, school management demands primary teacher to be effective instruction, constructive feedback, and self-discipline. The school management demands, in explanation, if you see, primary teacher to be effective in effective instruction, constructive feedback, and self-discipline. School management refers to all management activities, day-to-day functioning of the education institution, and also refer to the theory of practice of the organization. Who is a visionary leader? If you see in visionary leader, one who long-term perspective, that is a quality of visionary leader. School community partnership involves use of school or neighborhood facility and equipment and sharing resources. This is the school partner community partnership. This is the most common question asked in a section of pedagogy. So, a learning disability is related, that is handwriting. Handwriting related to dysgraphia, and dyscalculia is related to the calculation. It is difficult for performing calculation, and dyslexia, it is difficult for reading. And the term, next question, the term inclusive means educating a child with a special education needs full time in regular class. So inclusive education means that you have to include the disabilities children with the normal children and in full time in the same room. Which of the, this is moderate question, which of the following type counseling involves people who drop out from the school and whose difficulties are likely to be more severe? So that is called community based counseling. In community based counseling is a process which gives the importance to recognize the root of the counseling problem to help the with proper guidance. Next question, which type of student are included in inclusive education? In inclusive education are included only specific student you have to include in the inclusive education, that is the part of in umbrella term that variety of specific kids of learning will will included in with normal children. Socialization is a complex process that takes place overt as well as covert manner. So that is socialization. It is a complex process. Okay. Now, which of the following, last question, which of the following example of illustrate the proximal distal principle of development? So proximal is related to from effective use of arm precede the ability to use his hands. So proximal development is this part. Okay. So effective use of arms. Total 80 question is there. Which of the following statement about socialization children is correct? So media is an agency of secondary socialization. Media is not a primary, it is secondary socialization. In primary, family is the main. And teacher can utilize both assessment of learning and assessment of learning for learning and assessment to learning is known children progress of achieving level. Next, which one of the following not related to continuous and comprehensive CCE? So, not related to the C. It has been mandatory by the Right to Education Act. It is integral part of the teaching learning process. It focuses on the child achievement in different learning areas. But it is not. It is useful to leveling. Leveling is a negative thing. Which of the following statement about learning is correct for constructive based perspective? So correct is learning is a process of construction knowledge by active engagement. Next, the models of educational leadership are relationship leadership is there, transformation leadership is there, school leadership. So in explanation section, the educational leadership model set out qualities, knowledge, and skill that middle and senior educational leader need to be lead the in school of 21st century. This model shows the relationship core school leadership and the leadership always operate within the specific context. So these are the model of leadership. There is three model you have to remember: responsible, transformation, leadership, and school leadership. Next, who proposed the fourth type of effective school leadership? That is Robinson. Robinson he proposed this four type of leadership. So these are effective, medicated effect, and reciprocal, and last is inverse effect. Next question. Element of school leadership is great. School leader, it is critical thinking. It promote our awareness, teamwork, and adaptability. So both A and B. So next question. What is name have been given to HRD? And now HRD is Education Ministry. Next, that is question related to NPE 2020. We know that the new pattern of 10 plus 2 education, that is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Next, in which stage development child show maximum attraction toward the opposite sex, that is adolescence stage. Edward Thorndike is also labeled as constructivism, not constructivism. Edward Thorndike is labeled as connectionism. And Edward was one of the most popular psychologists who has also labeled as connectionism. He said that learning is the result of association formatting between stimulus and response. Okay? Next, which of the following Pavlov classical conditioning, that is not a component, that is unconditional reinforcement is not a not a component. The unconditional stimulus, conditional replace is the component of classical conditioning that is given by Pavlov. Here you can see the component for the classical classical conditioning involve the unconditional state stimulus, the conditional stimulus, the unconditional response, and the conditional response. According to Pavlov classical conditioning theory, conditional response could be produced by conditional stimulus with practice. So Pavlov basically it is a behaviorism without reinforcement theory. Bloom taxonomy is hierarchical organization of cognitive objectives. The main objective is that is cognitive. The Bloom taxonomy is three hierarchical model classify learning into the complexity and specificity. The three list cover learning, cognitive, affective, and sensory domain. So that is the three list cover. The cognitive domain list have been primary focus. That's why our answer is cognitive objectives. Next, Pavlov discovered classical conditioning. He was a Russian psychologist. Next, according to Bandura, the four factors are more crucial for observational learning. That is attention, retention, production process, and motivation. So arrangement you have to remember. Social learning theory is a theory of learning process and social behaviorism, which proposes that new behavior can be acquired by observing and imitating a four factor, that is attention, retention. First is attention, then retention, then production, and then last is motivation. Learning is the process of cognitive behavior adaptation. This is presented by Skinner. So, learning is the process of progressive behavior. Progressive term is related to Skinner, and Skinner is you can see the explanation. Learning was presented by the Skinner. To learn is to modify behavior and experiences. Okay, next question. Which of the following is not a characteristic of learning? Learning is not a characteristic. So learning is lifelong process, okay? And learning is retained through the practices, but learning is directly observable. That is incorrect statement. Then second last, which of the following sentence is correct about teaching? Teaching is professional activity and it involves the interaction between teacher and student. Then session why is lesson learning important? Lesson planning is important because it helps time management and it improves the students' understanding on the topic. Last, in teaching, an interaction occurs between dash and dash by student are diverted toward the goal. Teacher. So in teaching, the interaction occurs between teacher and students. So thank you. Please subscribe my channel.